Well, Mackenzi, thank you for taking the time to come talk with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, first off, you're one of the 5 seniors playing for the Eagles in one final season. What are some of your own goals for this season, and have any of them been reached, as we're almost halfway through the season so far?
Yeah, well, I feel like my goals setting out for this season have been just to enjoy it, because I did all like the gritty stuff kind of throughout my entire career, but I think this year I really wanted to sit back, and I know it's not like a very picture perfect season, but I want to enjoy even the little things. And like with the sport, I mean, you get a lot of ups and downs, and I want to enjoy both of them as much as I can this season.
As we all know, there's a lot of preparation that goes on before game day. Can you tell the viewers a little bit on what you guys work on in practice, and even before the season gets underway, you guys do a lot of practice. Can you enlighten us on what you guys do for preparation?
Yeah, for practice we do a lot of hitting, for sure. I mean, Coach Stack and Coach Ness do a really good job of like evaluating our swings and kind of catering our practices to them. So like, I know with some of the pitchers we've been seeing lately, we've been working a lot of sitting back and waiting for a pitch to eventually get to you. But I think this week we've had to focus a lot more on, like, because we're playing Colorado Christian, so a lot of spin and, you know, preparing to make a lot of plays for base runners that are very aggressive. So yeah, it kind of depends on the week, but they do a really good job of setting us up for success in the upcoming weeks.
What do you focus on in like the preseason practice before the season gets underway?
Preseason practice, I know personally I focus a lot on just getting myself physically ready. So that means like the running, the lifting. I do a lot of sorry, just extra work hitting wise. I just feel like season's such a big, not a heavy load to carry, kind of. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot. So during preseason, we really have to focus on kind of getting our bodies ready for the amount of games that we play, for sure. But I think also getting mentally in a place where you're able to accept what season throws at you. So like the wins and losses and the ups and downs, I think that also comes into play during the preseason, for sure.
And I know there's a lot of dedication on the team, a lot of hard workers on this team. I'm sure there are many individuals that put in extra hours outside of that normal practice time. So definitely the dedication really shows on the field. As a catcher working alongside the pitching staff, how is your practice different versus that of, say, another position player, such as like an outfielder or an infielder? Yeah,
so we usually will split up. So we got a new indoor facility this year over at the Burkheiser building. It's super nice because our pitchers don't have to be outside, because don't tell anyone I said this, but our pitchers are a little bit babies when it comes to the cold. Just kidding. But so we'll split up, like they'll go in at like 2 with their pitching coach that is over Zoom or whatever they have that day, whatever workout they're doing, and then they'll have like certain catchers go in at that time, and then we'll just go straight over to practice. So if anything, we just add on to what everyone's doing. I mean, my other position is outfield, so I do also do the outfield drills, not as well as our outfielders do them, but I try my hardest. But yeah, just they add on for sure.
Visiting with CSC's catcher Mackenzi Kroll here on the CSC Live pregame show. Continuing on the thought with working with the pitching staff, CSC has a core rotation of 3 players, 2 being returners, experienced players in Tori Haug and Kinsey Garner. But you've also gotten the opportunity to catch for freshman Brooklyn Levin this season. How has she been adjusting to the tough competition of the RMAC?
Brooke is a phenomenal pitcher. Like, as a freshman, I think she is one of the most promising athletes we've had in a while. I think that obviously playing some of the teams that we play, it's intimidating, and especially as a freshman being put in a circle in the middle of a field with everyone looking at you, it's obviously going to kind of tear at you mentally, but I think she's handled it really well, and I think that learning a lot about who Brooke is as a person outside of softball has helped me kind of cater what I need to be as a catcher for her. So like with her, it's just reassuring that she's as talented as she is. And I think that even when she's getting down in games, I think she does a really good job of like being like something positive thrown in there. Even if it's just a joke or something that she says, you're like, okay, she's okay. Like, she's not going to overly spiral, which I don't think any of our pitchers really do that. I think that our pitchers do a really good job of holding themselves up. I think that's why they're such a joy to work with. But
definitely, it can certainly be a grueling mental challenge at times throughout the season. I know for a lot of different players. For Tori, I believe you talked to me last year, if I recall properly, that you had gotten a chance to actually catch her in high school. How special is it to share the field with her and be the battery together for one final season?
Ooh, that's a good one. It means a lot, I think. Tori's been like, I know that this season has been like ideal for me personally, and Tori has been the person that I've been able to like go to for everything. And same with her dad. Like, her dad's just like my dad at this point in our careers. But I think us knowing each other so well as pitcher, catcher, as people, I think it's just been amazing just for my growth, for her growth, being able to like in the games be like tiny little movements and I'll know exactly what she needs from me type of thing. I think that connection is something that I'm going to be grateful for the sport and for Tori for a very long time.
Continuing with thoughts on Tori, do you and Tori still have the Swedish fish routine, or is there a different routine this year?
So the Swedish fish, actually, he midway through last season or towards the end of last season, this might be a lot, but it gets warm, so the Swedish fish started to melt a little bit. So it started to be almost a hazard for us as a pitcher to pass it back and forth, so I just kept him. But he's still very much at our games. I have him during every single one of my at-bats still. Now she has it's like a little mini figurine of just a person that she keeps with her named Cody. Yeah, so we had to alter it a little bit just so that she didn't have anything sticky on her hands. But
right. And an added thought as well comes from the observation of pitch calling and play calling coming from the dugout instead of you as the catcher, signaling for a pitch and having the pitcher respond to it. What all was included like on your wristband? And I know that the pitching staff also has that. What's all on that pitching wristband?
So the wristband's like a little card, and it's almost like it works like a times table. So like it's up, down, there's I think 5 different sections, and they all have like all of their pitches, so like backdoor, screw, curve, change, whatever. And then he'll call out numbers, and accordingly we'll get that. And then if you flip it, it's the same thing for batters, so the batters also have a wristband. But we had to change it up because hand signs and like face signs or whatever, they get picked a little bit easier, so these have been really nice to keep people off of our tails kind of a little bit.
I was going to say sign stealing's been kind of a big thing in the sport of softball and both baseball as well, so definitely a good way to find a way of working around it. Yeah. Does that change at all throughout the season based on scouting reports at all?
No. Usually our pitch signs are the same. We'll change like our number order if they do end up getting on it. So like instead of whatever number he calls first or second or third, we'll kind of have to switch it around depending on how good the team is doing at picking our signs. But
gotcha.
We've only had one team really be able to pick them, and I think they were picking them out of our pitcher's hand instead of which is actually really hard to do too. So.
Oh, absolutely. In closing, the Eagles have faced some tough competition throughout the season, and it has really been kind of a rough stretch at times. As the viewers will hear in Game 1 of the series, the team's record really doesn't reflect the hard work that you guys do and the dedication and the trust in one another, and really, the drive that this team holds on and off the field. What will it take for the team to find that way back onto that road of success, both in the win and loss column?
I think right now as a team, obviously seeing that record and being like, wow, this is not going the way we wanted it to, is a really tough mental place to be, especially for the seniors. Like, this is our last kind of hurrah with the sport we've played for some odd 18 years. So it's definitely intimidating to look at that record, and I think that if we as a team were to shift our perspective on success and stop thinking about like, if we hit 9 home runs this game, we're going to win and we're going to be successful. Or if we do this, I think that if we were to be like, that was great, and cherish the little moments a little bit more. I think that's going to change the dynamic of the teams, or the team. I know that our next couple weeks are going to be pretty jam-packed with some really tough teams, but I think that going into it with the right mindset is going to be the best way we can have a shot at being successful against teams like Colorado Christian and Mesa, which they're good teams, but I know that my team also is very good, and I would hate for anyone to count us out, even at this point in the year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time, and good luck against the Cougars on Thursday and Friday.
Thank you.